Wait, hold on one second. Hey, Dan, let the dog out!
Who let the dogs out? Woof, woof, woof.
Clear the air lanes for the big broadcast.
We're not professional podcasters.
Say what?
We barely know what we're doing,
It's funny because it's true.
but we have fun anyway.
I'm here to podcast.
Does everybody know what time it is?
We're good streaky! Yeah!
No, we're not. It's time for movies, pop culture, and more with the all-new Culture Cast, starting now.
I am the Gorehound,
I'm Jen.
And I'm Nick.
and we are the all-new Culture Cast, back for the latest edition. Tonight we are finishing up our Kevin Smith month with the highly anticipated Yoga Hosers.
You use the term highly anticipated very loosely.
Right, anticipated by who?
This has been the apex of the month by the Gorehound himself.
Okay, you do know that it is March, yeah?
Yeah, I do apologize about skipping. For those of you not aware, the Gorehound is in the process or trying to become more informed about purchasing houses, and the purchasing house class went a little bit longer than usual. So,
Is that what it's called? The purchasing house class?
I am simplifying it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I do apologize about that. So, but yeah, this is concluding that. So, how are you guys doing today?
Okay, good. I am,
Yeah.
As we were talking before we started here, I am working off of an iPad tonight, which I don't know how well I like it so far, but apparently I have to be, like, absolutely still and do not move at all, otherwise apparently bad things happen. But,
Lots of bad things.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you maybe just set it on a table and then speak to the table?
That it has been laying down. I've not been touching it.
Yeah, I do believe you, but we are getting some background noise, and
I don't see. This is the same headset setup that the Kiwi used when we recorded our couple of episodes. So I don't know what the story.
And Jen,
is.
you sure it's not you?
I mean, I'm not moving enough that I could be rattling anything.
Huh.
Yet I have the same setup I've had, weeks in the past.
Oh well. I'm recording on both ends, so if you needed to mute some shuffle, then that's fine. So yeah, let's get into our regular segment. What have you been watching?
What have you been watching?
Jen, you want to kick us off?
Okay, so the Oscars happened. I had my Oscar death race. I ended up hitting 51 of the 62 movies that got nominated for an Oscar, so I'm very proud of that.
You are. Is this the happiest time of year you are? Is this the happiest that you ever are this year?
I mean, I hope I end up happier. Anyone could be happier, but...
But I feel like this is your Christmas time, because this is what you talk about every week.
I know. Well, it was very exciting. I think I got about 16 out of 24 of the answers right in terms of, who got awarded what. Yeah. So I think that's pretty good.
Did you pick the Best Picture winner, both of them?
I mean, no, I did not anticipate that. But I think if somebody in Vegas had bet, here's what's going to happen, guys. No, hear me out. This is what's going to happen. I think they would have made $1 gazillion because no one would have guessed that. But it was pretty amazing. I was watching at an Oscar party, and everybody was kind of doing that end of the party shuffling, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, "Wait!" and we all turned and we're glued to the TV for the drama. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing that people took out of that night. After that was just that one moment.
It's
kind of a shame that that stole all of the light, but I mean that was pretty stupid move.
Pretty intense. As usual, accountants ruin everything.
I wanted to be an accountant in high school.
Really?
Yeah, I went to the first semester at my undergrad. I was supposed to be an accountant, but then I took a botany course, and I was like, I love the environment. Jen, what else is going on?
So anyway, so now that the Oscars are over, I can just watch things for fun. So I've been watching the People versus O.J. Simpson, the FX series, which is on Netflix. I watched the first 6 episodes so far. Very good.
I feel like you've been watching that show for like 900 years.
Right. No, well, I watched the 30 by 30 OJ documentary, which I talked about on the podcast previously. This is the TV show, which of course was not up for an Oscar because it's a TV show. So now I'm catching up on this after having watched this other OJ Simpson thing. So, I'm just finally catching up on, 1995 and but no, it's been nice, because towards the end, I think it always is a little bit of a slog to get through the most depressing of the movies, like the number of movies I watched about refugees in the days leading up to the Oscar was more movies about refugees than I'd watched the entire rest of the year,
Yeah,
so
you need a little bit of happiness in your cinema.
Exactly. So it's nice to just watch something light and fluffy about domestic violence, murder, race in America, just something light.
You're crazy.
Anyway, and then so that's what I've been watching.
Yeah. Cool. Nick, how about yourself?
I've actually been checking out a couple of different things here. The Kiwi and I have seen 2 movies this past week that are in theaters. Whoa.
Oh, man.
We saw the movie Fist Fight with I can't think of their names. Charlie Day and the Ice Cube.
Oh, yeah. I remember that trailer.
And we were both kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, I guess, but
you had a good time.
It wasn't all that funny. I don't know. I expected jokes in the movie, and there really weren't any. But
I might have been hoping for too much. I mean, you've seen Charlie Day before.
Oh yeah, I think he's hilarious. Like the few other things I've seen him, I haven't really been disappointed in. So I was expecting to at least be entertained, get a couple of light laughs out of it, but it was just kind of underwhelming,
Mm-hmm.
But we also saw the other day Hidden Figures, starring Cookie from Empire.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kevin Costner. And thumbs up, real good movie. I enjoyed it. I think it was a little long. There's one subplot I suppose they could have probably cut out of the movie, but just because it felt kind of tacked on, it wasn't really connected to the other things that were going on. But otherwise, I thought a really solid, good film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Apparently, I looked it up afterwards. Apparently, a lot of things were horribly historically inaccurate, but I think they got the big picture of what the movie's about accurate. So take that for what it's worth.
I mean, it seemed like they had to, compress some stuff and combine some characters and that kind of thing. But overall, it seemed to, most of the stuff seemed to pretty much line up. All right, and Gorehound, what have you been watching?
I have not been watching a whole lot. Kind of been busy. But
Jay and Silent Bob, I've been watching that.
No. I watched a random movie, Ghost World, from the 90s.
Oh, yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, it's on HBO.
Oh, the one with, what's her name?
Thora Birch and, 13-year-old Scarlett Johansson.
Right.
Well, I don't think she was that young, but she was
that's my impression of how young she was. So, but yeah, it's got Steve Buscemi in it, acting like Steve Buscemi. It was fun. I liked the movie. The characters were intriguing, and it was on HBO, and I just checked it out because it looked grungy, and it was from the 90s, so I was like, solid. So, I watched that one just out of the blue, and I haven't really been watching a whole lot. I finished up the second season of Mr. Robot for the second time around, and actually understood everything that happened throughout it because this was my second time watching it. And now I don't really know what to watch because I was kind of keeping me rolling for a while, and without Vikings, I'm like, I don't know. So, you guys have any suggestions of what I should watch?
Did you ever finish up the Legends show?
I'm not going to.
Oh, I thought Brandon Routh was your boy.
He really gets me going through it, but without the Graveyard Queen's intrigue with the series, it's kind of difficult for myself to get motivated to watch it. So, and she didn't mind Mr. Robot, so that was able to keep me through there. So, if you guys have any suggestions, I'm open. Because right now the only thing I'm looking forward to is that Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah, definitely. The only thing, so I did end up watching Riverdale, and it's exactly as like cuckoo bananas as I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
Because it's like Archie, but like, what if Archie were banging his teacher? It's pretty
Go
phenomenal. Archie. I've watched about 4 episodes so far, and I will say that it is absolutely ridiculous. No one on the TV show has talked to a teenager in years, and and I love it. So anyway, that would be my recommendation, which I do not expect you to take.
So yeah, other than Ghost World, I did, not cinema related, but I did pre-order the new Mass Effect game that's coming out in a few weeks, and I am really looking forward to that. I really don't like pre-orders, but it was like, it's my birthday, so I did that. And also, in a different topic, Vincent D'Onofrio is going to the C2E2 coming up, and I'm really looking forward to that.
I don't know what a Vincent D'Onofrio is.
D'Onofrio?
An actor?
Yeah, he was...
Been in a bunch of things.
Kingpin in Daredevil, and he was in The Magnificent Seven, and those are really the only 2 things which I know him from. Nick, do you recall what else he's been in?
He sort of looks like, you know the guy that plays the Hulk? He looks like the fat version of that guy.
Lou Ferrigno?
No, the one who plays the modern Hulk.
Mark Ruffalo?
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
At least in this photo, he looks like fat Mark Ruffalo.
He's been in a bunch of things. Nothing, of course, is jumping to
he was
mind.
the criminal intent guy. That guy.
Yeah, he's been... I'm pretty sure he's been in a whole bunch of stuff. I've just never really... nothing's really blown me away with him. But yeah, that's about it for me. So, I am going to fast forward past Man Crush of the Week. Nobody has really been.
I don't want to just have this as filler for the first person that comes to my mind. I want this to be a legit segment. There's legitimately no Man Crush this week.
Boo! Make it Vincent D'Onofrio.
No, because I don't want to just have him be a shoo-in. It's got to be somebody that I really am passionate about, who really moves me that week.
How about Keanu Reeves, since we're going to see John Wick 2 tomorrow?
That's kind of... I'm excited about that, but it's not, Man Crush level.
I
don't know.
I'm just...
I've been
Are
busy.
you guys going to record a little podcast after your movie?
On the car ride home?
We should.
You could.
A car ride podcast? Maybe.
It'll be totally crazy.
Yeah. And it'll only be 15 minutes, because that's how long it takes to get home.
We could stay in the parking lot and finish it up. Or we'll just stay in the theater and podcast as we're watching the movie.
Oh, man. And we'll bring the busboys in there to get their opinions of it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You have to leave now, sir.
Well, I'm disappointed that there's no Man Crush of the Week. And all of our listener.
I know all of our 10 listeners are going to be upset, but I'm taking this segment seriously.
Nick, you could have a Man Crush of the Week.
Yeah. I mean, you're more than welcome to.
That's Gorehound's. That's Gorehound's field. I don't entrench on his territory.
I'm not pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ready to talk about some goddamn yoga hosers?
Yes. I will say, last week when we decided not to do a podcast due to house class, but I texted Jen. I was like, Jen, no podcast tonight. And she responded with, great, I watched Yoga Hosers for nothing. So I have a feeling that she loved the movie. So we'll get to that.
I already know how she feels about it.
Can I give the
Synopsis?
summary, the synopsis, or the premise?
Let's hear it.
Please do.
Okay,
It's real complicated, so make sure you get all the nuance.
I will. So Yoga Hosers is the latest movie directed by Kevin Smith that stars Kevin Smith, Johnny Depp, Kevin Smith's daughter, and Johnny Depp's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
They play two clerks, original for Kevin Smith, in Canada. And we know they're Canada because Canadian stereotypes are abundant in this film.
And they're so good. They're so good.
Sure. And the first half of the film deals with the girls wanting to get together with these two guys, but they turn out to be Satanists, and they want to kill the
isn't
girls.
it great?
And then about midway through the movie, Kevin Smith got bored with this plot and decided to turn into the girls fighting bratwurst-sized Nazis that want to take over the world.
AKA Bratzies.
Yeah. So, that's the movie. That's basically the quick summary of Nepotism, the movie, by Kevin Smith, starring Kevin Smith's daughter, and Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp's daughter. So, guys, girls, what did you think of this film?
Okay.
Then
Let me just
tear this shit
speak
apart.
let me speak for me, but also for America when I say, like, what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? Like, look, if people are going to pay you actual human dollars to go see a movie, you should at least carry through with the premise that it is a movie. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a good movie, but it has to be a movie. It cannot have Nazi bratwurst. The definition of movie includes not Nazi bratwursts. I was so livid. Like, I was so livid.
But you finished it through.
I did.
Okay.
I did. I will admit I fast-forwarded through some of the Nazi bratwurst parts because
Oh my gosh.
I was like, this is well, also because I didn't realize we were canceling the podcast and I was watching it before the podcast. But, like, I didn't feel the need to go back and rewatch those scenes that I'd, kind of fast-forwarded through a little bit. But I did watch the whole thing, which I feel like meant I paid more attention to the movie than Kevin Smith paid to the movie. Like, God, Gorehound, I know you're an apologist for Kevin Smith, but, like, how in the world can you justify this?
I thought it was legitimately... Yes, the movie is absolutely awful. 2 out of 5. Straight
0 out of 5. Yeah, agreed.
No. No. You
No.
have not watched enough bad movies to know 0 out of 5. I hold that
That feels
dominion.
like a threat.
Because, yes, I watch a lot of bad movies, and this is pretty bad. But it has a budget. It's got some production value. The camera work is good.
Which makes it even worse because there's actually like effort and money put into it, and this is what they crap out.
Right. It's like magnifying a pile of puke. Nobody really wants to see it, and there's no point to magnify it because it's even grosser when you magnify it. So the production value did not need to be that great, but it is because he's made 10 other films now, and he actually has a following.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that shouldn't. It's clear Kevin Smith made this film for his fan of podcast people, or for his group of podcast fans, because it even says a Smodcast production. What podcast produces a movie? But anyway.
Well, we're going to produce one.
Yeah, right. It'll be better.
Yeah, this is straight up for the podcasting community.
And even the over the end credits, which usually when I watch a movie, I'll watch it all the way through. I mean, I won't sit there and read the credits, but I'll have it on while I go and I don't do whatever. The end credits had his podcast. That was the end credits music. It wasn't music. It was the podcast. It's like, what? And I don't even know what they're talking about because they're just laughing at their own jokes.
I don't recall that. I thought it was just bloopers at the end.
No, it started with the girls singing "Oh Canada,"
Right.
and then it went to the actual credits, and about midway through, the music switches to audio from one of his podcast episodes.
Okay.
It's like, this is so stupid. Why is this existing? But I mean, if you want to make a product strictly for your fans, put some effort into it. This movie is just a total mess.
I have a question, guys.
But it is what his podcasts are about. His podcasts are him smoking weed with one of his friends.
And that's fine, but if you're going to make a movie, maybe get off the weed for 5 minutes so you can think about, is this coherent?
I mean, Canada is not all that funny, right? Like, actual Canada is not that funny. I used to work with Canadians. Like, it's just not that funny. Also, they're really bad at responding to their emails.
He uses, in exchange for actual jokes, he uses stereotypes. Like, sorry. Like, okay, yeah, we get it. Canadians are polite. Oh, ha 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 ha. It reminded me of like a bad version of My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which did the exact same thing. They traded jokes for stereotypes. But in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, that was actually played well because there was like a loving, affectionate. This is just like, it's not, I wouldn't call it mean-spirited, but there's like nothing to it.
Right, there's no bite to it. You could make a Canadian joke that's funny, right? Like, there are things you could do about Canada that are funny, but it would require you to know something about Canada beyond, like, these weird stereotypes that he has of what Canada means to the people.
Well, interestingly enough, I guess Kevin Smith did live in Canada for a time.
Well, then he should have more information. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, it's so like, weirdly lazy. All right, I have a discussion question for you guys.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Can the two daughters actually act? And I don't say this because I want to make fun of children, because, like, obviously I don't want to make fun of most children. But, like, they were given a movie. Do you think that they're good actors? Do you think they could be in a project not involving their fathers?
I don't think so. In particular, Harley Quinn, I don't think is a very good actor. She is pretty much just living off of Kevin Smith, and I presume that she'll be doing that for
the rest of her life.
At least 2 more years. But I think she's just a celebrity child, where things will just be given to her. And that's kind of the state of Hollywood, and not really a whole lot you can do with that. But Lily Rose, I felt, kind of stole the show. I feel like she actually did have more of an ability to speak and act when it called for it.
Yeah, during that big important scene.
I will
you remember,
say,
Nick, the one with the acting.
Yeah, right. I will say they weren't, for me, they weren't as bad as I was expecting it. Neither one of them are exceptionally good.
I felt like Harley Quinn was just reading her lines. Like, every single scene, she was just looking at a script, reading her lines, looking at the script, reading her lines.
Sure.
But I felt like Lily Rose had more flow to it. You could see more emotion. Yes, it was a 3 out of 5 emotion. But as compared to...
It's like I went to see a high school play. I think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah.
Like, they can act, but, you're not getting, you're not getting, like a Kenneth Braga there on the stage. It's, but, yeah. I will say that the Johnny Depp, when I could understand what he was saying, was actually kind of funny in the movie.
Yeah.
He played that role fairly well.
Yeah. We should say that this is a sequel to Tusk, where he had a role in there as the detective.
God,
did
I'm really sorry we didn't get a chance to watch that one.
Tusk was a lot more serious. It was a lot more dark and disturbing, and yeah, it was much more of a dark comedy / horror. And it had like legitimate. Well, it had Justin Long in it, and the old guy.
Yeah, the old guy.
Love
that guy.
I forgot what his name was.
Because he's old. I don't know who he's talking about. I'm just being a jerk.
No, he was a legit actor that maybe, I mean, besides Ben Affleck, maybe like the most respected actor that he's worked with.
Matt Damon?
Yeah, this is another one where like there were enough random celebrities. You were like, wow, if you had like written a script, like a full script, hired some people who could act around these famous people, like you could have had a movie. Maybe hired a director who could do more than a static shot. Just, I'm spitballing here, but you know what I mean?
Like Haley Joel Osment in the film?
Right, like he's a person, and
he's so weird looking.
He did get weird looking. No offense to someone who used to be a child, but I
mean that's to his charm.
Yeah, he was there, and who was the yoga teacher was Justin
Long. I think he may be my favorite part of this movie.
Oh, I didn't know we had to have a favorite part. I guess I liked when it was over.
That part was pretty funny when he was trying to argue with the lawyers about
Yogi Bear.
Yeah, that was actually. I'll give him credit. That was amusing because
that's fair.
I'm always a fan of a wordplay, but
yeah. The scenes with my three favorite things about this movie was Justin Long and the few segments that he did have. The part where Harley Quinn says, "I'm not even supposed to be here today." I thought she executed that awesome in a different context than.
Because she probably watched her dad's movie a ton of times. Like, don't fuck this up because that's the line the fans are going to get.
I don't think that she ever has watched a Kevin Smith movie.
God, so she's living a better life than we are.
And my third favorite part was Adam Brody in it, the drummer from the band.
The memorable role that had 5 minutes of screen time.
It was very small, but I thought it like hit it right there. So, if you don't remember from previous podcasts,
and what's her name's parents in the movie were also famous. You had Natasha Lyonne and who was the other?
Tony Hale.
Tony Hale.
Yeah, from
Arrested Development.
People who could also be in a good movie.
It's probably an easy paycheck. But,
I hope they got paid.
Jen, what did you think of Harley Quinn and Lily Rose?
I mean, I thought they were, actors' children. Like, they did not, and to be fair, this may not be what they want to do with their lives. This seemed to be more a project that, it's hard to say because I don't know the kids personally, obviously. But, like, my impression is that they did not have a whole lot of say in the script, if only because absolutely none of the lines that they spoke sounded like things that actual 16-year-olds would sound like. And presumably these are like actual 16-year-olds. So, it definitely had that like, okay, this is actually a middle-aged man who's writing this script, like who has never talked to a child before. So it's sort of hard because it's like when you're trying to slot kids into a role where they are it's almost like making them speak a foreign language and they're being forced to speak like old man, teen girl. It's not going to be very easy to make that sound natural, but yeah, I mean, they did not have it. If they have acted in other things besides Kevin Smith movies, maybe that's something they could do, but I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath to see them in something else. Like I wish them luck, but I also kind of hope that if they do, they at least have to like change their name, like a Nicolas Cage or something to make it in Hollywood.
Did Nicolas Cage change his name?
Is it Nicolas Cage? No, maybe I'm thinking of.
No, Nick Cage did. His original name was Nicholas Coppola.
Okay, yeah. I
Oh,
was gonna
right,
say-
because he has a relationship, yeah.
And also Martin Sheen's kid, Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
He's the other
What?
one I can think of.
I think, isn't Estevez their actual name, and dad
Right.
and brother changed it to Sheen?
Right. Right. I believe so.
The more you know.
Nick, what else is on your
happened
mind?
to him anyway? Emilio Estevez.
He refuses to leave the ice rink because they think they're filming Mighty Ducks 4.
Perfect.
Nick,
Where are the cameras?
Nick, what's on your mind about this movie?
It had no plot up until it took them a good 45 minutes for anything to actually happen in the film. In the about 15 minutes in, there's this weird musical montage that had a bizarre lesbian overtones with the two girls. She's upset with her dad, and so they start singing a song, and they're like, "Oh, my daughter, but I'm gonna have sex with my girlfriend wife anyway." And
I
then
don't remember that part at all.
it
No, I
towards
think
the
that was
beginning.
more. I think it was more so trying to say that they have the two girls have a very good relationship with each other. They are best of friends, and
Yeah, but it started flashing back to other times with it. Well, okay, here's so many things wrong with that scene. Part one is the scene was supposed to be guilt tripping her dad for spending time with the I don't know if they're the mother-in-law or whoever that was, not in-law, but the stepmother or whoever. But then it takes a weird dive into, now this scene's about their friendship and how they're the two girls' friendship, and there's flashback scenes of them doing things and hanging out and sleeping in the beds together, and it's kind of wait, what is happening here? Why is this in this movie right now?
Yeah, I could see that where you're really not sure what point they're trying to get across in this scene.
He was probably high and forgot what he was shooting. I was like, this will be fine. Another thing I have to praise and criticize is in the film they had anytime you met a new character, it had this sort of intro to it, as if it was a screenshot and it had information on the side.
Oh yeah, like a cover page.
Yeah, kind of like a MySpace or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was kind of neat, but they did it for every single character. What was it? The stupid principal with the stupid name, Principal Invincible.
Oh yeah.
She was a nothing character. There's no reason for the character to be in the movie, but they give her a little bio, she's important. She never shows up again. There's absolutely no reason for this thing. It was bizarre. Why are they doing this if these characters have no impact in the movie overall?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing where it just felt it felt very much like an adult had written this, and it didn't feel like an actual teenage thoughts.
You thought it was very basic. To use the slang.
Follow-up question, guys. Do you think that the other famous kids at whatever famous school these two go to made fun of them for being in this project? It's not that I want teenagers to get bullied. I'm just curious if you think they did get bullied.
No, because I'm pretty sure that they already are well liked. They're clearly not bullied. Actually, I don't know if that's clear. I would imagine they don't seem like they would have gotten bullied in high school, but I think that all of their friends think that they are super cool for being in a Hollywood movie.
Well, I think Johnny Depp's daughter gets a free pass because she's Johnny Depp's daughter.
Yeah.
I think Harley Quinn. I don't know. They're teenagers now. I think at that point they're not going to care. I mean, it's not like a Jake Lloyd situation where he was bullied into schizophrenia because he starred in Star Wars Episode 1 when he was 9 years old. uh, so I think when they're in the movies, they're beyond that stage where we're gonna mock you because you're in this movie. I don't think at that point it's an issue for them, or in that age range. I don't see that. But at the same time, I'm kind of with you, Gorehound. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not ones who typically get bullied. If anything, I see Harley Quinn as a mean girl. I don't know why.
I could see that.
I get that. I get that. I picked that up from her. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I could see her being under the impression like, oh, I can do whatever I want. I don't care what anybody else is going to tell me. I'm going to be an actor. And it's like, well, nobody is telling you not to be an actor, so nobody really cares what
I
you
am telling
do.
her not to be an actor.
Yeah.
That's okay. Daddy will put her in all of the movies.
Mm.
I would wait. I would love to see her try to do a movie that didn't have Kevin Smith's name attached.
I would like to see her do a high school play.
Yeah.
Like, learn your place in the universe, small child.
Jen, would you say that there were no anti-feminist tones in this movie?
I mean, so, okay, so from a feminism perspective, there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where they're trying to go to the grade 12 party.
Yeah.
And,
And
then, right, and then they talk about how, well, we wouldn't even have sex. We're on our periods this week. And the mom's like, well, I know you're not on your period because I'm not on my period. I'm on my period in 2 weeks. And so therefore I know you're lying to me, and I can't believe you'd lie about, menstrual cycles or something. And I kind of watched, and I was like, I feel like if this were a better movie, I'd be very outraged right now because, like, that's not really how bodies work. But, like, on the other hand, this is also so stupid, and, like, it's so clear that Kevin Smith has never, like, interacted with a human woman before that, like, I almost have to give it a pass because this is, like, him trying to imagine what talking to ladies is like and just failing horribly, right? Like, but in a way that's, like, not even offensive because it's just so weird.
I think you're looking too deep into it.
Absolutely. But it was definitely a weird scene.
Yeah, I mean, clearly women's bodies aren't like that, and I'm going to give Kevin Smith the benefit of the doubt that he knows that, but he's just trying to make a silly joke.
Are you sure that he knows that?
I feel like there's a lot of, like, period jokes out there in movies and TV shows that would make some sort of ridiculous claim that, being on cycles and all that. But, yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say there was anything super offensive except to, like, good taste. Bratwurst Nazis were weird.
And they're actually called Bratzies.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to call them that, though. Yeah.
Can I say that, screw the guy who was playing the lead villain in the movie, who wound up being the lead villain, because clearly he was only cast in that film because he's Kevin Smith's friend and he could do celebrity impressions. Like, when 5 minutes of your movie is this guy doing impressions and Johnny Depp saying, hey, he's pretty good.
But since you listened to Hollywood Babylon, you actually knew why Kevin Smith put him in there. Is because he's really good at that. Even though it really had no place in it as much as the story tried to push it, that it did have a place.
Exactly. Whether I listened to Babylon or not, I still would have been like, this guy's an idiot. He just wants his ego stroked, and with the access that he does. If Johnny Depp had not been like, hey, he's pretty good, then I don't think it would have been so glaring to me, but screw that guy. What's his name? Ralph Garman? Is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah. Ralph Garman, screw you. There you go. Come at me, bro.
He's just trying to, because all he really does is radio show host, and he wants to be an actor. He's already a voice actor, but he wants to be in the movies.
Well, not everyone gets to be an actor.
But you gotta try.
No, you don't. Nick has never tried.
Well, I have. I've been in plays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you good?
Well, I don't know. I was okay. I was the Ghost of Christmas Future a couple years back.
Okay, you know what? I stand corrected. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
You bitch. And I was awesome as the Ghost of Christmas Future. I was the shortest Ghost of Christmas Future ever, but I was awesome. I had eyes that glowed, and no one could point like me.
Okay, I am going to just fact check this with your wife. Just, no reason.
You can. She will back me up on this.
Okay.
I was in A Christmas Carol in 2013. And I will say, when I taught high school, I was our theater director, so I directed several plays as well.
Not to
And
brag or
wrote them.
anything.
Not to brag. Maybe I should take back my comment on Ralph Garman, because I feel like I'm turning into him right now.
I love it.
What else is on your guys' mind about this movie?
That it sucked.
Sucked so bad. Sucked. Like, there are so many people out there who, like, really want to make it in Hollywood, and, like, because they're, like, a minority or a woman, and, they're just not able to, like, get the callbacks that they want. And I feel like, if I were one of those people who was really struggling to make it in Hollywood and struggling to pay my bills, and I, like, saw this movie, I, like, paid human money to go see this movie, I would just, like, I would go stab Kevin Smith,
I could have played the role of the daughter. And I would have actually acted.
Right. Like, I could have been in this movie if, there's only a certain number of movies that can, realistically be made in a year in terms of getting studio funding or whatever. I would be so mad. I would be so mad.
I will say I did like the reoccurring gag of the mole on Johnny Depp's face kept moving.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was clever.
Yeah, because I didn't know that
it
was supposed to be intentional. But then after a few scenes, I think it was just very blatant that it is moving. Because, like, one time it was, like, on his nose or something, and I was like, that wasn't there.
I will say this. With Kevin Smith, when he started out in the 90s, he had a lot of promise. Jen, I know you'll disagree. But
yeah.
The general consensus of critics at the time saw that he had, like, a lot of promise as a filmmaker. And he has since squandered it. Like, he has not evolved as a director in 20 years. And, it's worked out for him, I guess. He has a media empire where he gets to lord over nerdy things and he's having fun. So more power to him on that. But, he can't be taken seriously anymore. Like, it's like the M. Night Shyamalan effect. That he's really great, and you were excited when M. Night Shyamalan put out a new movie. But now, when a new movie with his name comes out, it elicits groans and eye rolls. And it's just, Kevin Smith, it's the same way. Like, if he has a new film coming out, it's like, why? And
Did I mention that I saw the new, or the Visit with M. Night Shyamalan?
I saw The Visit.
Is that the one where he goes, like, the kids stay with their parents?
Yeah.
Parents?
And people seem to like Split.
Yeah, Split's doing pretty good.
Which
too.
only proves that you can come back from,
That's
lackluster production.
I think what helped with Shyamalan is that I think his ego finally realized, oh, maybe I should dial it down a notch. Like, his films aren't like M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit. It's just The Visit, which happens to be directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Like, I think that goes a long way, because people, I think they saw, like, oh, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I'll pass. And then automatically wrote it off. And he started doing lower budget sort of things, and he's kind of building his, career back up. Yeah, his brand back up, which is good. Because he's another talented filmmaker. He just he got too big too quick, and it went to his head, and he delivered crap. But
And he's not making teen movies starring celebrity daughters and Nazis.
not yet, anyway.
No, not yet. Anybody have any closing thoughts on this?
I think that this should not have been a movie. And again, not that I want children to get bullied, but like I kind of want them to understand. I want these like children to understand like how ridiculous it is that they were in this movie as children.
You can't garner any celebrity fame from this movie.
I
is
hope
not
not.
really doing anything for your career other than letting people know that you are Kevin Smith's daughter and you're following in his tracks.
I guess my questions for you, Gorehound, would be, do you think this bodes well for the next Kevin Smith movie? Does like seeing this make you want to see what his next move is, or does it in any way, shape, or form turn you off from the brand?
Well, I cannot rationalize myself to you.
No.
But I wish that I could. But
Sure.
yes, when the sequel to this Moose Jaws comes out, I will see it the first night in theaters. I can't explain it. I am just a sucker for really bad shit. It's probably the same reason that I love Malort. It's just in my personality.
Do you love Malort? I mean, I thought Malort was just something you like buy people as birthday shots to punish them.
Yeah, it kind of started off like that. Because, like, when Nick would come over, I would get, like, cider for him, and he would have, like, 2, and then I would have, like, 4 left over, and I'm like, well, shit, I don't know what to do with this. And it was so sweet. And I had Malort, so I was like, I'll just add, like, a little bit of Malort to it. And after a while, I was like, it's not that bad.
Do you drink your Malort mixed with cider?
Occasionally, yes.
Okay. We'll come back to that one day, because that sounds super fake, but... like, I feel like you're just tempting me to go try this. And
No,
then...
I can vouch. He has done this.
Really?
Well, no, I mean, I don't want
It's like, when he says cider, just to make it clear, it's like Angry Orchard and the like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not like, apple cider, Mott's apple cider, tasty. Indian summer, yum. No.
No, I'm not encouraging anybody to drink Malort because, yes, it is awful. And I'm just a weird guy who likes awful shit. I can't explain it, but...
Yeah. It's so weird, because your wife is so quality.
I know. But, hey, that's opposites attract.
But didn't you say the Graveyard Queen's favorite movie was Yoga Hosers?
No.
Oh, did I misunderstand that?
She does. She feels the same way that Jen does about that movie.
Yes. Self high five.
So, yeah, Nick, closing thoughts?
This movie was terrible. I mean, there's nothing. Just nothing.
All right, then.
That's all I got.
Yes, this movie is bad. I would give it a 2 out of 5. It is fun for a seasoned Kevin Smith fan. I listened to Jane Silent Bob and Smodcast and Hollywood Babylon whenever the new episodes are released, and this kind of flows right in there with it because you have a lot of references to those, or to Hollywood Babylon in particular. Go ahead.
What is a yoga hoser? Is it just like a term they made up and decided we're going to make a movie around this term?
I took it to be a yoga hoser is basically like a stuck-up person who does yoga. You could think of it kind of like a hipster, maybe like a Canadian hipster who just does kind of like really weird shit. But this is, I don't know. It identifies them as their own characters. Maybe he's creating a new type of stereotype.
Which is people who like yoga and beat up rocks. No, this movie is dumb. Fuck this movie.
I should also say that, for the record, neither of the two girls did yoga before this movie.
It shows.
So,
And that's not like I'm not like taking a. It's not meant to be an objectifying critique. I mean, when you see them in the movie doing yoga, it's clear they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
As actresses.
Yeah. So this
It's
movie
weird
really
it's
has
such a
nothing.
big plot point.
Yeah, this movie has nothing to do with legitimate yoga. It only has to do with Kevin Smith's interpretation of yoga as a very fat man. So yeah, I think that's about it. Do you have trivia?
It's trivia time.
Yeah, I have trivia. So, what movie is the worst movie ever made? Is it A, Yoga Hosers, B, Yoga Hosers, or C, Yoga Hosers?
Ooh. All three.
I'm sorry, Jen, that's incorrect.
Oh.
The correct answer is B, Yoga Hosers.
Perfect.
All right.
Gorehound, I know you like this movie. I'm sorry that we don't, but you know, you are the target audience.
Yes, and I knew what you guys were going to expect from this.
A competent made movie?
So you looked at this and you said, how could I torture my friends?
No, it was honestly, this is my birthday month. I don't care what they want to watch. My choice. And we do like to do these themes occasionally. So I said, well, perfect opportunity. So, and in closing thoughts for the month, I do appreciate you guys watching these truly awful movies. It makes me happy.
I don't mind Kevin Smith, like his 90s work. I actually have, maybe it's slight nostalgia, but I have an affinity for it. But
yes, but his 90s work is becoming diminished by the bulk of movies that he is making now.
Yeah. Maybe he'll claim he'll retire again from making movies and then, you know, go back on that the next day, like he did a couple years ago.
Has he retired?
Well, he was trying to get a movie made, and for whatever reason, it wasn't going well. I don't know the circumstances. So he loudly proclaimed, "That's it. I'm retiring. I'm never directing another movie again. I'm going to focus my energies elsewhere." And then he proceeded to make 5 more movies.
Huh.
I think he said it in a fit of frustration, and
So we could have had it all.
yeah, his career would have been, left unblemished for the most part in terms of, mass appeal and critics and all that, and now he's just become a parody of himself.
Let's close this bad boy out.
Absolutely.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
I am the Gorehound.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Jen.
And we are the all-new Culture Cast. Catch you next week.
You've been listening to the all-new Culture Cast, one of Chicagoland's finest podcasts.
You're making me fall asleep to death.
Well, I guess there's not much we can do about that. In the meantime, check out our blog at znculturecast.wordpress.com. Send us an email at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by bensound.com. This has been a Saltwater production. Copyright 2017. Thanks for listening.
No.
We're going to do Kevin Smith every single week just for you, Jen, because you love it so much.
Won't we run out of things eventually?
Nope.
No, we'll do their episodes of Flash and Supergirl.
We'll just cycle through it again. So, this is the 4th time we're watching Clerks. What did you think of it this time, Jen?
Oh my god. Oh my god, you couldn't do that to me. I just stop attending.
Or maybe we can act like each other, Jen can be the Gorehound.
Oh
and
my
I
god.
can be Nick, and Nick, you can be Jen, or something like that.
I'm Jen, and I like Kevin Smith.
Everyone is so good at imitating me. I love it.
Suddenly you have a slightly southern twang. But